Thank you, Chair. I don't have a lot of questions, so I'll be brief, but and some of them you may need to take on notice. I understand that Defence buys some equipment that's already being produced overseas, and there are also some equipment that is designed specifically for Australia. We might call them bespoke. Am I right on that assumption?
Yes, Senator, we buy a range of equipment from a range of different origins.
Yes, okay. And roughly, can you give us an idea of what percentage of defence procurements fall into either category, and that is that's off-the-shelf platforms and what's bespoke platforms?
I'll get Mr. Gillis to come up.
Senator Kim Gillis.
Sorry if I interrupted your break there.
No, sorry, I was down again.
Did you hear the question? You want me to repeat it?
Can you repeat the question, please, Senator?
Yes. So my understanding is that we for Defence buy some equipment off the shelf, already in production, and we also have platforms that are designed specifically for us, bespoke. Is the term that I've used. So my question is, can you roughly estimate the percentage of defence procurements involving simply buying off-the-shelf platforms, and what percentage is bespoke?
Senator, to give you an accurate answer, I'd actually take that on notice, because the clarity between something which is purely off the shelf and something which has a minor modification, it can vary. So I'll try to give you as much detail as I can.
All right. Now, while you're taking stuff off the shelf, on notice. Yes. It was a late night last night. So while you're taking questions on notice, what I am interested in is what has been the relationship between off-the-shelf and bespoke, and I accept that it's not always a black and white line, over the last 25 years. Can you give a rough estimate of the ratio, proportion of each category?
Senator, that's even a more complex answer, and I'll have to take that on notice.
I anticipated that would be the case. Now, this will almost inevitably be a more complex one again. Of the percentage of equipment that is bespoke, what I'd like to know is what proportion of it has been delivered on time, and what percentage of it was significantly over budget. And you can decide what significantly means. And I mean, clearly the air warfare destroyer is an example, but I'm looking at a 25-year pattern here. Yeah, so Senator, is that doable?
We can take that on notice. In the shorter term, we do an annual major projects report, which does give you an essence of that data about schedule and budget and their performance, etc. But that's done since, I think, about 2007. So you get about a 10-year data span.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. 10 years is better than none.
Senator, I think that 10 years would make more sense, because I know that we've been working closely with the National Audit Office on the major projects report to gather that sort of data. To go back 25 years may be an administrative burden, which might take a long time.
All right,
and a lot of costs to actually go and gather that type of data.
I'll accept that.
Yeah. The 2015 Joint Standing Committee report into defence procurement, and the 2012 report by this committee, which actually provides exactly that detail over the sort of time frame you're looking at.
Importance of Senate committees.
There you go. What I'm looking for is obviously the implications in cost and delay of not buying off-the-shelf platforms.
And Senator, I'll just make a comment there. There are significant advantages in some cases of actually being involved in developmental projects because they, for example, the Bushmaster, and it's the lives saved in theatre as a result of Australia investing in those types of capabilities. So it's not a simple answer to say one's good, one's bad as a result of schedule and cost, because there are implications in respect to capability.
I wasn't intending to imply one's good and one's bad. I'm merely looking at the difference between them. There is a trade-off.
Absolutely,
it
Senator.
would appear. I don't think anyone will disagree. There is a trade-off between buying off the shelf and in terms of cost and having it designed specifically for our requirements, both in terms of availability and cost.
Yes, Senator, I'll take those
assuming,
on.
Senator, that an off-the-shelf product exists that would meet our requirement too.
Yes,
So
indeed.
there's another dimension to this, which is
Yes, that's right.
All that together.
Now, so those, I'm interested in, so if you just want to send me a copy of the relevant sections of the Joint Standing Committee on Defence Procurement, then that might do it if that answers the question. I'm not sure about the time scale that we
We'll
would
check
talk.
on that, Senator.
Yeah, if you can check that, thank you.
And Senator, there was through the Mortimer review, and there has been a number of reviews of defence procurement that has done evaluations of the benefits and risks associated with off-the-shelf procurements versus modified and military off-the-shelf versus developmental programs, because there's a range that goes forward.
All right. Now, so that's my first line of question. Now, this is related, but one is not intended to imply anything about the first series. When is the French Barracuda class submarine expected to enter service, and when is the last one expected to enter service?
Senator, I'll ask Admiral Samet, who's the program manager, to answer your questions.
Senator Rear Admiral Greg Samet, head of the Future Submarine Program. It wasn't clear to me whether you were asking about the French submarines or the Australian submarines.
The Australian submarines based on the French design.
The
Yep.
future submarines?
Yep.
When will they enter service?
When will the first one enter service and when will the last one enter service?
The early 2030s, in accordance with the white paper and the way our schedules are currently planned, will be the entry of the first submarine. So we're aiming around 2032. And we'd expect the last one to enter service in the late 2040s, early 2050s.
And what's the scheduled end of life of the Collins submarines?
The end of life of the Collins submarines will
When
be
are they?
subject to the work that we do on them. We've stated often that it'll be necessary to extend at least one of the Collins class submarines to avoid a capability gap. As we've previously stated at Senate estimates, we've done a number of studies and we're confident that we have the ability to extend the life of the Collins submarine. In fact, that work, which has been independently peer-reviewed, indicates that there is no single issue that will prevent us extending the life of the Collins class by one operating cycle each boat.
And so as a consequence of that, will there be a capability gap and how significant will it be?
There won't be a capability gap.
None at all or some?
I think that was the Rear Admiral's evidence to a previous question, that the assessment had been done, there wouldn't be any capability.
Yes, I was just seeking clarification.
So there will be no capability gap through the combination of the delivery of the future submarine and the extension of the Collins class.
All right. Okay, now, so I might leave it there because I'm interested in these questions on notice, so I'll pursue them at a future estimates. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Senator McCarthy.